Whittier, California. That's I guess it's 5-10 minutes away from Los Angeles, which would be the Sunrise Gang, Jimtown Gang, Whittier Valley Locals Gang. Uh, we've got the Uptown Crip. We've got Downtown Crip. There's I can go on. There's 30 or 40 different names. But
I noticed you have a spider on your hand there. What does that stand?
this is the racial mark. This lets you know that any Mexican in any gang, they don't get along with the white. They don't get along with the black. It's Mexican.
If you go to jail, you mark with that, or?
Yeah. This is just like a logo. It means I'm a Mexican, Southern United Race.
But you lived your whole life in that area out there?
Yeah, I lived all my life I lived in Compton for a year and a half, and then I lived in Hollywood for about 2 years, and I spent most of my time in Whittier. So.
Did you belong to? I guess everybody belongs to a
Yeah,
gang.
I belonged to a gang when I was a kid. That was years ago. I grew out of that. I guess I was 15, 16 years old. But I mean, even though you never leave a gang,
Right.
you know, it always haunts you. But I've seen a lot.
Well, what was your gang name?
It was Whittier Valley Locals.
Meaning crazies.
I
Right?
mean, crazies. The crazies
How
from
big? How
Mexico.
big?
500. It was 500 when I left. Now there's 1,500 strong.
1,500.
Right now. After the movie's Colors came out, and everybody wanted to project that type of an image of being a gangster, so it's big now. You know, it's 2 generations.
Who were your rivals out there? The Crips? More Crips in Compton than there are Bloods, right?
Yeah, there's more Crips than there are Bloods.
You have a sign?
This is the sign. This is a Pyru.
How about your gang over here?
This gang is the WVL, or like this. So, but the Crip is the C. Double C's Compton Crip, Corner Pocket Crip, and this is the Pyru, and that is a Blood.
Is your gang feared out there in LA, or I was under the impression that Pyru were the worst out there.
The Pyru are the worst because they're the smallest, and when they go out and do something, they have to get it done because they don't want anyone retaliating because they are so small. They're small. The Crips, there's what 2,000-3,000 strong that you don't even know about. You know, only a lot of these like Whittier PD, Alley PD, the sheriffs, they know about a lot of these guys. Not only did they see them, but they've been arrested. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of them that have never ever been arrested, and they probably won't ever be arrested. You know?
We were talking to Sean and myself. Were talking to a Crip, a Compton Crip, who later became a Rolling 60s, and I told him that there seems a lot more camaraderie between the Hispanic gangs and the Bloods. But it seems the Crips will shoot at each other. I mean, not within the gang, but different Crip gangs will fight.
It's sets. They have that's how they call it. That's a slang word for sets. Okay. They have the Rolling 60s. They have the Rolling 70s. They have A Trade Gangster, which is 88 Avalon Crip. Okay, and that's just like you got 8th Street here, 9th Street, 7th Street. It's the same thing. Okay. Now they do when they're in jail. They're together. It's the blue rag. Blue rag is a Crip. A bandana is a rag. That's their flag. That's to let you know who they are and what they are. And the clothing, the color code is blue. And the Bloods is red. Okay. Now you have these. There's a black. They originated, I guess, 84, 85, and they're the Black Guerrilla Family, BGF. They don't get along with the Crips. They don't get along with the Bloods. They're for themselves. They get along with the Muslims. Their color is green. Okay, that's what they symbolize. This is green.
You guys don't have color. Most Hispanic gangs.
Blue.
Blue. You're the blue color.
And the Northerners are the red. See, that's where it all started. Then the blacks, cause see, the Crip gang, they originated, I'd say 1980, 81. That's when they originated. Now, where they originated, they try to follow the Mexicans, you know, but it's like Compton and Linwood, it's just, you're isolated. I mean, you know, if you're a white man or a Mexican, you can't go in there. And if you go in there, it's called a keyhole. There's one way in and one way out, and that's it, you know. And they're so strong because it's like the projects. They're all black and they all stick together.
Well, Leonard, I was talking to this one crip, and he was telling me that, well, I know this is verified, like 42% of murders go by unsolved in Los Angeles in the gang area, and murder is probably the most solvable crime. You walk into a house, you see a dead body, and you check with the family, you check with whoever they had a fight with, you check with friends, and you probably solved the case. But they say that the mentality of the Los Angeles type gangster is that they don't talk. They laugh at the New Jersey and New York City gangsters. They talk too much. Can you comment on this?
Well, I'll tell you, I guess this was in '83. There was two black guys talking to a cop, okay, and I guess a week later they were Crips and they were dead. You know, and you have nothing to say to a cop. They're gonna, they call them snitches, the rats. You know, they're no good, and they will not tell and they will not rat because they'll go with the flow. If you're gonna bring them in and question them on something, they don't know anything. You know, because they're a group, they're one. You know.
Can I ask you how you came to this area here?
This area here, my brother called me on the phone, and he asked me to work with him, construction. So I got tired of the LA, the environment. I lost 7 friends in the last 2 years. Okay.
Drive-by?
Drive-by shootings, going to parties, getting shot, going to the beach, drive-by, mostly drive-by.
Your homeboys, they all nicknames. Do you have nicknames here on the street?
They used to call me Psycho when I was a kid because I was psycho. I didn't care. But when I was, I guess, about 14, 15 years old, I started working. I went back to school. I got my GED. And I started seeing there was nothing there. There's no future in it, So I wanted to move on instead of go back or stay where I was at, like most of them are doing. They're not going anywhere.
I know we have Bloods and Crips in all 50 states. They're reported in Alaska. They're in Hawaii. They're all over. I know we have one in our county prison who I checked with a grade system. I found out he's a bona fide Compton Crip who later went to the rolling 60s. You tell me, a lot of police when they talked around here, they think that Los Angeles gang problems, it's just with Los Angeles, and we're a little urban area here, and we don't have anything to worry about. Give me advice on this for our law enforcement officers here. If you know of anybody else, I know of one.
Well, there's a little knucklehead running around. I call him a knucklehead because, see, if he was any type of a threat, he wouldn't let you know who he was. Which is why they're coming over here, because they don't want you to know who they are. They're not going to expose their identity. They're not. They're just going to be another black person from either Comentaris or wherever they have the blacks. Because there's blacks that they go to college, there's blacks that work, and there's blacks that are into drugs, and there's blacks that are in the gangs. And I'd say there's a good 20, 30 Crips. I'll tell you, I went to a bazaar, and this was last summer. And I seen this guy, he had a jacket, and my fiance says, "What is blood?" And I looked at him, and I told her he's from a gang, And they were talking about Philly, so they were from Philly. Okay, but the difference between an LA Crip, a New York Crip, Philadelphia Crip, or a New Jersey Crip is LA has seen a lot more than they'll ever see, and they're a lot wiser. And they can run around, and the officers can see them because you can't miss them. They're all over. But for them to come over here, you're not going to know who they are because they're here for business. And if you ever have any problems with them, they're not going to have war against the Crips. They're going to take the drug dealer off and the cops. Because once one cop knows who they are, they're going to correct that error. They're going to eliminate the problem, and they will. They've been doing time all their life.
How do we know that they're not wannabes? I see some people walking around with blue mocha rags, and they're, how do I know it's not a wannabe? I couldn't tell you if they're really a Crip. Did you see anybody here that would lead you to believe there are?
I've seen 2 or 3 that are really Crips. Okay.
How do you know that?
I seen one used to work in the mall. He's not there anymore. He probably.
The one in Bellingham Mall here?
Yeah.
And he was a bona fide Crip?
He was a bona fide Crip.
How
Okay.
did you know that?
This girl was talking to him. She was in a what is it? Stereo Sound or one of these little stores. They sell the cassettes and the discs, stuff like this. And she was saying, "Oh yeah," he says, "You got the tape colors?" Because see, Ice-T was a Blood, and then he converted over to a Crip because they're and then now he's famous and he's making movies and this and that. But she was putting him down, and he said, "You know nothing about this. Why are you talking to us?" He said, "You're a Polak. You people are funny. You're a Polak. You don't know nothing." And he went outside, and I was smoking a cigarette. And I asked him, I said, "What's up?" And he said, "Yeah, well, there ain't nothing to it." He said, and he started talking to me, and he said that, he came down from Compton, but he was from L.A. He was from East L.A. That's who he was brought up. And just they're real calm, cool, and they're suave. These guys around here, they want to be like that. They want it so much, it's like a sore thumb. They expose it, overexposure. That they're not a legit Crip.
But he was legit. Did you recognize him?
Yeah. Well, I didn't recognize him. I talked to him, and he talked about the LA County Jail 4800, which is a Crip module.
So he knew things that.
And off the top, boom, he's a Crip. He was there. He was through the war.
A wannabe will not know.
And there's another thing. I know a lot. Okay, Crips. They're like in jail. They're speaking Swahili now. Okay. Now there's only two people: the Black Gorilla, the BGF, and the Muslims that know Swahili. You'll see Swahili tattoos. You'll see a Compton Crip. You'll see CC. You'll see a guy with the bandana on, wearing a hat and a trench coat and a shotgun. Okay. Now that means he did time, and he'll do it again over and over and over, and he won't stop. But this guy, you say he's a Crip. If you were in LA, excuse me, and you went and you said, "We'd like to interview you," and maybe this guy wanted to do good, then maybe he would roll over and tell you. He would never walk the main line. He could never walk his neighborhood. He's a rat. He's no good. And they would kill him. They would get one of these young guys and say, "You want to be a Crip? You got heart? Yeah, I got heart. I'm down with it. Here you go, kill this guy. He's a rat." And he'd kill him. And the little guy, he's cool. He's in. You know what I mean?
Now, I know if we do have Crips and Bloods here, I know it's strictly not for territory, strictly for drug profit. How about you mentioned before that there might be a Grape Street.
There's the Grape Street. Okay, that's like you go to what? It's just like going to Hollywood. Okay, I'll put it like this. It's just like going to Hollywood. There's a rich part and there's a poor part. Okay, Grape Street is a rich part. Okay, Hoover is another rich part. And there's the Hoover Crip, Great Crip. There's the 88 A-Tray Gangster, Trey meaning 3, 83rd Gangster, and there's the 88 Avalon. And they're strictly into money. And if another Crip was to approach this Crip and they were talking, just like they're in the county jails and they're talking about this and that, about rocks, clocks, rings, and things, which means gold, money, fashion, or oh man, I'm lost for words now. But fame and fortune, that's what I was trying to say. But he is, a lot of them do drugs, but most of them are straight edge. They're in the money. And they will take out anybody who is in the money. Just like that's something, me and my brother were talking about this the other day when you called. And he was in the gang too, but he went way back. He was in Montevilla. Okay, that's like 3-4 generations. That's the Mexicans. There's no fighting and chains and knives. That's all in TV. It's all about the Mac-10 and the Uzi. But anyways, they are in the money, and if they are here, I know there's a few of them. I've only seen 2. There was these kids.
We're here?
Yeah, but they're from the terrace.
Okay, but they're not. They're not.
No, they're not from LA. No, they're not from LA. But they talk about cousins and brothers that are in LA. You know what I mean? And and I'll tell you, the Dominicans and there's a few Dominicans that They're gonna run them out.
Are they here, the Dominicans?
There's a few Dominicans here, but
Where are they from?
there are two Dominicans are from Jersey, and one is from New York. Okay, and I see them. I used to go to the station, and I used to see them. And it's funny because I don't fit myself. I don't. You know, I don't fit myself in their level. You know, I left that alone years ago. But when they talk and they bring something up from the past, it just registers. I know what you're talking about, automatically. You know.
Well, just a guesstimate here. Now, again, I'm concerned, and there are a few cops concerned. I'm the president of the Pennsylvania Gang Investigators Association.
I can tell you, there's over 200 Crips here, but you don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. I have to see them. I haven't been everywhere to see them, but there's a lot of them here.
Well, how would you know this?
You can read the writing on the walls. You can read the writing on the walls. The walls tell everything, you know? I can't draw you a map and tell you where these places are, but just like in the station, there before they painted that, there was writing on the wall, you know, and it was it said, "Let it rain, let it drip, kill a Crip." Okay, that's the blood. You know what I mean? That's a blood.
Couldn't one of our people just put that out? Maybe he read it somewhere or he saw it in a movie. And
Maybe he could be trying to be somebody else.
He's not.
You know what I mean? But if he wants to be somebody else so bad, he can be just as bad as somebody else. And it's not hard. It's not hard.
See, I have a few police saying that we don't really have any Bloods and Crips. But I know we definitely have one Crip because I traced him to the grade system. And I found out his past. I found out everything. His his moniker. I found out who his homeboys were. You know, so I know he's real. Now he's here. And he told me, he said, "You don't have a Blood or Crip problem." I said, "Well, you're here." He said, "Strictly by accident. He met a girl in Washington. She had a grandmother of a former terrorist. He came here and he got picked up on an unrelated charge, not a drug charge." Now I did a background check in armed robbery in Compton. I'm sorry, Burbank. He did armed robbery in Kansas City. He beat up a deputy sheriff in Kansas City. So he's a long record of pushing drugs all over the United States. Now my question is it possible he could have called his homeboys up in Compton and said, "This place is our place right for picking"? That's what I'm asking you, I guess.
That's what it is. Well, I mean, well, the officers here, the cops, they will know I'm Italian, they will know Mexican, Hispanic, Cuban, Puerto Rican, or what, okay? Now, they pull me over. Can I see your license? Maybe I didn't put my blinker on or something. And that's it, okay? In LA, they pull you out, they take pictures of your tattoos, they strip your car, they take your shoes off, you know, and they do all of this. The police here in Wilkes-Barre, they don't have no knowledge. I'll tell you that right now. They don't. They're too naive. They're too nice. You know. If you ask for directions in LA, hey, here you go, buddy. Here, if I can't find it, they'll take me there. You know. And that's all they are. They're gullible. You know what I mean? No cop would let any Mexican or any black man that was gang affiliated take them anywhere. Or, oh, I don't know how to find this. Can you show me how to get this square shirt? What are you looking for? Doors to light? Oh, I can't find it. Even someone that lives here, they'll take it. That's how nice the people are. They'll take you straight there. And what was an ambush?
I hate to be going back to the same topic, but I have a warning. I'm trying to warn our police department here that if these gangsters, I mean, I roll with the LAPD and the sheriff's men, so I know how dangerous these gangsters are. To me, when I see young kids mimicking these gangsters, I have to laugh because they're not gangsters. It's like stealing a culture. I'm Italian. I can never be Irish, so I can't act Irish. These middle-class white people are mimicking these ghetto gangsters, and they'll never beat the ghetto gangster. The point I'm trying to make is, what could I say to police departments? I mean, how do we know they're not just wannabes? I mean, you're saying you recognize a couple? Anybody else you recognize?
There's a lot of wannabes, but
I'm talking about the hardcore gangsters. You're saying there's a couple?
You're not. There's more than a couple, but you're gonna have, you know.
Well, where are a couple? Tell me.
If I had their address, you know, I couldn't just say, hey, he's right here, you know, because I'm living my own life. That's why I left LA, is to get away from there, you know. But I studied these guys for 6 years. I had to. I was in prison. I was in San Quentin. I was in Folsom. Okay, I was in Soledad. I was in Tracy. Tracy is DVI. It's a gladiator school. Okay, and I had to study these guys to stay alive, because I was looking after number one. My best friend was me. You know what I mean? I had no friends, and that's why I have a knowledge that these cops know nothing about. You know, they don't. I'm streetwise. I'm institutionalized. I spent 6 years in prison. Okay, and my worst friend was a Crip or a Blood. You know what I'm saying? And I see them here. I could be in the mall. I could be in the store line, and a black guy could come up and he'd be, yeah, cuz this, cuz that, cuz this, cuz that. And he never even left the Terrace. He's nothing. Mm-hmm. But you know what? They say Pennsylvania's 5, maybe even 10 years behind. Okay? Well, they're catching up, and you got problems, you know? Because it doesn't matter if these cops can tell a legit a legit Crip, an original Crip from LA, or a Crip from Pennsylvania, a wannabe. Mm-hmm. Because I'll tell you, there's no difference. Because if this Crip from LA puts a gun in this guy's hand and says, we're going to go and kill this guy and kill this guy, and we're going to let them know they're not going to push their drugs here, because this is our turf now. Because, see, you guys don't know who they are. See, you're coming at me and you're saying that these cops, they don't know a real one from a poser. Well, you know what? The worst person in the world is a scared person. You know? And these guys are scared. And if this guy is pumping all this into them, you know, hey, this is how it's done in Linwood and Compton and this and that. There's no difference from a poser than an original gangster. There isn't. You know, there isn't at all. He's just as dangerous. But what your job is to try, I know you're trying to find and trying to eliminate these guys, trying to correct that error. Right. Okay? But it's going to be hard, you know? It's going to be hard.
Suppose that I got together with a couple detectives and we're like a fact-finding group. How could I go about finding out, you know, if we have some real Crips here? They're not going to carry identification.
No.
They're not going to be driving cars with California license plates on either.
No, they're not. But they're here because you don't know who they are. And one good way is tattoos. Okay?
We gotta look at this tattoo here. I don't know if I can. Oh, that's okay. Just leave it like this. That's okay. Let it go. It's a spider. Here.
Yeah.
Let it go. That's okay.
This is something that I got when I was in prison.
What is that?
It's a girl's name, but it has nothing to do with the girl.
What is it?
It means I lived for the gang once, and I'll do it again. So this is Christine. Mm-hmm. There's Sadie, the name Sadie, which means search and destroy, eliminate all enemies. You know, S-A-D-I-E. So Christine it's well known in LA.
Just means you lived for the gang.
I live for the gang, and I'll die for the gang.
And
these are teardrops.
Teardrops.
And they never end. In other words, I cried once.
Yeah, I could get that.
Say that again.
I cried once, and I'll never cry again. It's the same. And I have one up here too. This is the Mexicans get. This is a nigger killer, and that's what it means.
And that's your gang, or is it all Mexicans?
No, that's all Mexicans from LA.
Okay.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I'm concerned about. Is
See these tattoos? Do you see these tattoos? See what that is? That's knowledge. That's what I'm talking about.
And some scars here?
Yeah, I got shot when I was in Folsom, and I got shot in the street.
What's that?
It was from the Mini 14. It hit the handball court, came up, and it got me.
Where else were you shot?
Down here. But it was a shotgun blast. It was a Ryder gun. Anyways, it's going to be tough for you to find out. But I'll tell you one thing, though. They're not going to show you. You're going to have to use the psychology. You're going to have to reverse the psychology. You know, 150%, because these guys, and if you got this Crip in there, you know how easy it's for him to send a letter out to a few of these knuckleheads? I'm not sure you can have them censor the letters, but
well, they get phone calls here in our county.
Yeah, they get phone calls, and sometimes they can tape even the phone calls, and they can say, if he had some...
We're not looking for a problem. That's what I'm saying. I'm the new kid on the block. I'm talking about this gang mentality coming our way, and I get a lot of people saying, well, it's not here yet, so why worry about it? One worry now is just 2 or 3, and you're saying you think there may be more than 2 or 3.
Oh, there's a lot more. Because when when the Crip gang originated in L.A., you know. I mean, do you know where blood started? You know there was Bloods before there was Crips. Did you know that?
No.
You know where blood started?
Rooster, right?
No, Bloodline, New York, the Bronx. That was the Bloodline. That's where, if you ever watch movies and you see the movies from the 60s to the 70s, the blacks called each other Bloods. Okay? Now, it just so happened that the area the Crips originated was so big. It was so big. And then they originated, it was the corner pocket Crip. Then they came out with the blood. Okay, there was just blood, just red blood. Then they came out with the Pyrus. Okay? Then they got the Ace Deuce. And they got 5 Deuce, which are right against each other. 5 Deuce is 52 Crip. Ace Deuce is 51 blood, and they're this close, you know. And it's a war, you know. They can't even leave their own yard, you know. But there's Bloods in Compton, you know. But what I'm telling you, what's most important, we'll leave LA alone, because LA is in LA. But I'll tell you what, they're here, and it's going to be hard for you to find. Every time they arrest, this is what they're going to have to do. Every time they arrest some black guy for drugs or whatever the hell they arrest them for, they have to watch out for the dress code, jewelry with C's, meaning Crip, okay, BK on a ring, which I seen about, well, when I got this ring in the mall from the jewel thief in the mall, it was about a month ago. He wanted a BK, you know, that's a blood killer, you know, and he said he was from something like, it was New York, New Jersey, and the shoes, the BK is a blood killer. Tattoos, meaning C's, meaning Compton. 13, meaning LA Crip. There's stuff like the cross. You ever see a black guy with the cross? He's a Compton Crip.
What's a cross?
It's 1 cross and 2 dots. He's the cross is a Crip that was originated in prison. You know what I mean? And he was willing to die for the cause. And there's 1 cross, and it has 2 slashes. You know, a few Mexicans get it too because that's where they got in. The gang was in prison. You know, because the worst gangs are in prison. You know, but yeah, it's going to be tough. But every time they arrest some black person, you know, they're going to have to look out for this because they're here. But because you don't know who they are, and that's the best. You know, when they got out of prison in L.A., the cops they got this. It's called the SSU. It's just like prison, the Special Shoe Unit, and they go out there and they take pictures of them, and then they get the pictures when they're in prison, and they line them up, and they say, "Oh, shotgun's out. Okay, we're going to see what he's going to do. Maybe he'll lead us to something, you know." And they go and they arrest him, and they take his tattoos down, and they know who he is, you know. Here, every time you arrest somebody, because you know, if you're going to start getting shootings and stuff and all this, you know, they're going to see that, and they're going to say, hey, you know, because I'll tell you what, the number 1 place, a good place to study or to watch out for, Club Lee.
Club Lee over there in
Club Lee in Edwardsville. Club Lee. That's, you get everything there. You got the blacks from LA, and I'll tell you what's scary too now is when the black guy is afraid to mention that he's from LA, and that he'll let you know that he gang bang, you know what I mean? But he'll say he's from somewhere else, you know. And
you would know if they're from LA for just simple things, right? Yeah, I know when I talked to that one Crip in the county prison, I was asking them about the jungle and different neighborhoods.
Did you know that these blacks out here, did you know that they have an accent? You didn't know that?
No.
Did you know that they talk different? Their slang is totally different from the LA slang. You know, they talk. You think, oh, they talk just like these rappers. These blacks think they have the street slang. No, what's the difference? There's an LA slang. There is a difference. You know,
If I ask you to give one message,
nigga, nigger. You know what I mean?
yeah. If you had one message to give to our law enforcement officers in our area, what would that message be?
The message would be is to open your eyes and just analyze everything, and to analyze everything the best you can, and to use the best judgment you can, because these guys are out here, okay, and they're out here to profit, and if the Wilkes-Barre cops or any cop in Pennsylvania, if they get in their way, they won't stop at nothing, So when they arrest these black guys, I would tell them, or when they're watching for them on the street, because they're not serious right now. You know why? Because there's not too much going on. It's not like LA obituaries or something. It's a phone book. How many people got killed? Pennsylvania, they catch a guy with the joint. It's in the paper. In LA, they laugh. They give him a citation. Here you go. You know what I mean? But the best message I could give them is to be on their feet 24 hours a day, because this is going to be a problem.
When I talked to this crip at the county, and he told me that, I asked him, how many of your homeboys you think could control an area like this? He said 5. Is he exaggerating? 5 hardcore Compton Crips? If he had 5?
Well, I tell you, if it takes one to run 2,000 guys, is 5 a lot? Do you know what I mean? It takes one in prison. Because I'll tell you, this is where they get all their schooling, is in prison.